Welcome to Life's a Coach. Our mission is to empower individuals like you to take charge of your life, discover your purpose, and elevate your performance to new heights. Each week, we'll be diving into engaging discussions, introducing you to valuable tools from the coaching world, and giving you different perspectives on individual development. Whether you're seeking clarity, motivation, or a fresh perspective, we've got you covered. Again, welcome to Life's a Coach, where the power to transform your life begins now.
Hello, and welcome to Life's a Coach. I am excited today. We've got an exciting episode for you guys today. Today I'm with my co-coaches, Alma and Jean. And how you guys doing?
I'm great.
Ready.
You ready? We got a very exciting episode today. So we thought we make it a fun one today. And since typically we got up 4 female coaches on our podcast, right? And 2 male coaches. So the others are not here today, but I thought let's have an episode where we can ask, as a guy, just ask ladies to these questions that we guys have or we men have about women, and you can just answer that and you give us your thoughts and opinions on this, right? And
Okay.
as a disclaimer, I just need to put it out there as a disclaimer. These are just the views of the participants on today's podcast, right? This is not word on the street, but I'll be also interested to hear what our listeners and followers think as well, you know. So, okay. Well, I mean, we'll start with something. I got a list of questions that I have actually, and I'm excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Right, I get to hear what women think, what women want. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll start with a light one. Why do ladies? Okay, so just as well, I'm just gonna put it out there and just say for the record, I'm an interchange between lady, women, girls, but I'm just asking what females, this is me just asking that question. Okay, so why do ladies go to the bathroom in groups or together or in pairs?
Oh boy.
It's one of my
Uh-huh.
favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember fondly times in high school where it was like the thing I looked forward to all day, to go into the bathroom with like 6 of my girlfriends, and we were able to just take a big breath. I think it was the safety of the location. It was quiet. And of course it was like our girlfriends, but we didn't have to sort of be aware of our surroundings. If I could like make it like a little bit maybe deeper or larger topic, I feel like it's a safe container. So it's like, we women, I don't know if we always feel safe in the world, right? Yes, in our homes, maybe in our cars, but even in the car, like you're still having to be on display. I'm having to feel like I'm on display. So in the bathroom, there's something about self-grooming, self-care. We can focus on what we need. And then we have this safety of a space where everybody in the bathroom we know, and then we can just, release our thoughts, maybe some emotions. There's been lots of crying in the bathroom, taking care of our like hygienic needs. And then we can come back out to the world freshened up.
Okay. So I know today's session, what we're trying to do as well is not to do too many follow-up questions. I get it that the example you gave was like with friends, going to the restroom in a group. But let's say you're on a date and there are 2 guys in like a group, and you guys you're on a date there for like 3 or 4 couples. And when one goes to the restroom, all the ladies go together. Like, is it still similar context?
For me, it is,
Uh-huh.
you know, I think I might feel more at ease crossing the restaurant, since you're saying we're on a date,
Mm,
with somebody, a partner. So it's the two
mm,
of us walking in this, and this room.
mhm,
So yeah, there's a feeling of safety. And then there are things that, when I think a lot, and I can't wait to get the girlfriend into the bathroom who like, oh my God. And then this is what I'm thinking, or did you see that? Or just do like a recap and da 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 da,
yeah.
and get it all out. What do you think? Did you read that? You just have, you can't do that in front of men or in front of your dates, but you need a moment to get your stuff together, get your thoughts together. And no, it's fun. I think we've been doing that. I've been doing that since the beginning of time, going into the bathroom and that safe space to have that one-on-one that I
Mhm,
need.
mhm.
Um, and how do I look? Oh, you put some lipstick on, or I don't know, whatever. Just get yourself together and then
Yeah.
come back out.
Okay.
Ready for round two.
All right. For all the guys out there,
That's
there you
me.
have it. There you have it.
That's what we're really doing, and that's what I'm really doing. And they're just kind of reassessing. There's
Mm.
information and overthinking overload.
So as a kid, I was always told never look into a woman's handbag, right? Right. So my question to you is, why do women carry such large handbags, and what do they keep in them?
I carry
Oh,
big, big bags. So
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
all these little tiny purses, I just like, they make no sense to me. I don't know. How about you, Jean? What is the size of your handbag normally?
I do a little handbag for phone, lipstick, and keys, but then I always carry a backpack, like something like this. And in it is all kinds of supplies, including a change of underwear and clothes.
Oh,
So,
dang.
yeah, the thing is, you want to be prepared for anything. Um, I am somebody who, like, once I'm out, I'm out. So
Mhm,
I like to be able to feel comfortable with
mhm,
multiple, adventures. I'll say if I'm going to be studying, I'm going to need one type of wear. And then if I'm going to go rollerblading right after I study, then I'm going to need another set of clothes. But I think thinking back to like my motherhood days,
uh-huh,
it's because you're always the one that is concerned about everyone else's, needs. So I would always carry things that I think my kids could potentially need because
mm,
I'm the go-to, right? Even if they were, even as adult children, they're still like, "Hey, mom, do you
mhm.
have do you have this? Do you have this?" It's like, yes, I do. So yeah, it's a natural. I think it's a natural taking care of others.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I agree with
You
that.
agree, Alma?
I agree with that. I like to be prepared because you never know. And once upon a time, I used to travel a lot, and literally I didn't, and I'm lazy, so I don't like to keep changing handbags either. So eventually, little by little, the handbag just grows, more and more things that you carry in there. But yeah, I have a little, sometimes I have a little bottle of alcohol because you never know when you need a little bottle of alcohol, or, you need
Rubbing
Band-Aids, or
alcohol, you mean?
yeah, I have a little thing of rubbing alcohol because, again, once I left the house, that was it. I wasn't going back. I was out all day. And, you went rollerblading, but maybe I might, get in the water,
Mhm.
or I might go to a friend's house afterwards. And so I might need a few things, or I don't know. I just
Okay.
I like to always be prepared.
So what I'm getting is like women times carry big handbags so that they're just prepared for every eventuality that they can think of. Right. Okay. And
And
as
you
a
have to
disclaimer, I
remember,
just want to
April. Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. No, I just said you have to
Um,
remember that, I think right as soon as we start our menstruation, we have to carry
mhm.
supplies. So it's almost like
Yeah.
conditioning, right?
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
right.
Gotcha.
And
go
once
ahead,
you have
And
Jane.
one little bag of supplies, and you're like, "Ooh, how about another little bag of
Right?
supplies?" And I might be starving later, so I'm going to need another little bag with like maybe a power bar, and maybe, I mean, that stuff adds up.
Gotcha.
And you should know
Interesting.
that women always carry extra, like
Hmm.
I'll say, like sanitary napkins, whatever, for other
Hmm.
women, right? I'm always aware of my
Mm,
sisters who might need one emergency.
gotcha.
So, yeah.
Mhm. That is.
Okay. That's awesome. So just as a disclaimer again, um, I know my questions are all like, why do women? Why do women? We are heavily generalizing here today. All right. I do get that not all women go to the stereotype that we're talking about today. All right. Well, now that you've mentioned your menstrual cycles, I got a question. I've heard, right? Is it true that if two women live in the same house, or if women go hang out, let's say for a week or a month together, their cycles sync up?
The magic of hormones.
Is it a thing? Is it an actual thing that like sharing space with another woman, sooner or later your days of your cycles actually sync up? Is that true or not?
I will
It
speak
is.
with experience.
Yes.
Yes, it is true. I have four daughters. I remember this one day where we all realized that we were in our menstrual cycles in the same week, and that's that's not actually always the case. Now we are living separately, and my one daughter and I, who I live with, we're still synced, and my other three are not. So I think it comes from our basic, like, well, it's from smell, right?
Mm.
That we can actually, like, our bodies just know when that is being stimulated. Um, and yeah, so I think that I know there's scientific basis to it, not just not just our minds.
Interesting. Okay, you know what? It's interesting that I thought of this question as you were sharing. I feel like I heard what you said, and I may want to go Google and get some more info on that. Not that I don't. Yeah.
Is it
All right.
pheromones? What's the actual like hormone that we smell? I think it's pheromones. I wish Eric was here
Yeah.
for the
Oh yeah.
scientific.
Yeah. Of course. Eric is the one who's always got the science and the facts. Okay. Um, what do you ladies feel about paying the bill if you're on a
Oh,
date?
I never like doing it.
You never like doing it.
No, sometimes no. I I I I pref I do like doing it,
Mm-hmm.
just not every time.
Gotcha.
and why is that?
I am really old school. I don't know. I was raised with
Mm-hmm.
always being taken care of um, by my father, and my father always taking care of all my friends as well. And it's just, and my friends' parents always taking care of me. So I think I was nurtured to in that way and never questioned it. And now as an adult, I look at it, and it's not that it's expected, but it makes me feel, um, it, it just makes me feel good and like it's natural, and I'm cared for, and it's nothing to do with dollar to dollar. It
Mm-hmm.
is how it makes me feel that I am cared for enough and special enough, and you want to spend the time with me and treat me to something lovely. And it doesn't mean I don't feel that way for you, but it is a habit,
Mm-hmm.
or it is, yeah, I suppose it's a habit. It's that I picked up, and I don't care to investigate and try to cure. Works for me. It feels lovely. And it's
Gotcha.
just as lovely as it feels for me to buy you dinner too,
Mm.
because
Mhm.
I love also feeling that I'm taking care of you and making you feel special. And but I sure do like feeling like a woman and having a man come and take care of me and take me to dinner and treat me because he wants to. That's a
Mm.
beautiful feeling.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Why
thought
do women?
oh,
Well,
Go on.
can
Go
I
on.
answer that one?
Oh,
yeah,
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 yeah.
sure,
she has.
sure,
I
I
sure,
want to know
sure,
what she
sure,
has to
G.
say about
I
that.
I got a list here, so I just want to hear like boom, 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 and keep it
it's
short and also hear it. And then I'm excited. I'm just like,
I almost want to ask you, Avril, well, how do you feel about paying for, dinner for a woman? But I want to hear what Jean has to say.
that will be
sure.
next week's episode. We have questions for the men.
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
that I thought the rule of thumb would be, in general, when you invite
Mhm,
somebody out, you pay for it,
mhm,
right? I
mhm,
think that's
Very
culturally
yeah.
sensitive and right.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I would I would guess that most times when somebody's attracted to somebody else as a potential date and perhaps more, it seems to be the men who ask, who do the asking, and therefore, then I would expect them to pay for it.
Yeah,
mhm.
Now,
that makes
let's
perfect
say,
sense.
yeah, and
I
let's
go,
say if
oh,
it's
yeah, so simple. I'm sorry, Jean. I'm
no,
just
no,
like,
it's okay.
my mind is just like, well, yeah, that's like the obvious. Sorry.
But then, like, see, I have a further thing in my culture for Korean culture. It's like whoever is older pays.
Mhm, mhm. Oh
And,
wow.
Oh, wow.
I won't generalize and say usually men are older than the women that they're attracted to, so I'm not going to go there. But, and the reason for that, it's just that, there is a sense of ability, right? Somebody who's older
Mhm,
probably
mhm.
had more time to get more resources to be able to afford more. Therefore, we treat the younger, right? So that makes sense to
So,
me.
Yeah.
so in the Korean culture, if I was dating an older Korean woman than me,
Yeah, see?
she'll be paying for the day. I like
Then Conf-
that.
You like,
Confucius,
I'm
Confucius
just kidding.
philosophy. I think the gender trumps the age.
Oh,
So
gender trumps age.
I think. But I also thought something kind of funny that I had heard this once through Steve Harvey, the comedian and the
Mhm,
talk show
mhm,
host, and he basically said, if a man really wants to be with a woman, like to get
mhm,
to know you and sees you across the room and really wants some of your attention and time, the way that the woman would approach whether he would be a potential candidate for a future, father of her children or whatever, is
mhm,
that he said if a man can't even buy a woman a plate of food, how is she going to expect him to support a family? And I thought that was like, makes so much sense. And I'm not trying to grand scale it, but I think it's the intention that even if he doesn't have a lot of money, he certainly can buy a plate of food.
mm, mm. Okay.
you like
Okay.
break it down so, it's just like so easy. Like, yeah, it's so simple. I love it, Jean.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay. I like it. I
makes
like it.
perfect sense. Doesn't
So
it, April?
I love it. I'm loving it too. I'm loving it. The
Mhm.
thing is, you know me, I'm a deep guy. I like breaking stuff down and going deep. But today we also want to keep it surfacey and fun. So I'm not gonna ask much questions or I'm not gonna do many follow-up questions as per se. Next one, are you ready?
Dun, dun, dun,
And
dun.
and for the record, Jean and Alma don't know some of the questions that I have. So it's on the spot.
I need
None of
some
the
of them.
questions.
I don't know any of them.
Any of
Okay. Why do women always ask if they look fat in an outfit? And is there safe way to answer the question? So why do you women tend to say, "Do I look fat in this outfit?" And is
Mm.
there even a good way or safe way to answer that?
I think that it's not really the question that they're asking. They just are
Ooh.
not taking the time to frame it properly. It's just a lot quicker and easier. So it's very general, of course, and there's a lot of missing information. What they want to know is, tell me how great I look in this,
Aw.
or not?
Okay.
Would you prefer that I wear a different outfit or this one? We just want to look beautiful and
Oh,
beautiful for you or for whatever we're doing. And so it's not, do we look fat?
uh-huh.
It needs to be reframed. And you need to, yeah, that's all. They're not
Wait,
asking if I look fat.
wait. So all this time, oh man, I feel like I've just learned something right. A huge life lesson right here. Oh, so a lady may just be asking how she looks like this. Can you say that again? I feel like I got something, but I didn't put on.
Tell me how good I look, or, maybe do I look great?
Mm,
How great do I look? If it's not up to, if I don't look great,
mm-hmm.
there's a way to, you know what? Women always look great, but we need to hear that we look great. And
Mm,
the reality is that we know how we look in the outfit. We just
mm,
want to hear you tell us how,
mm, Ah, gotcha,
and
gotcha,
confirm.
gotcha,
That's me.
gotcha.
That's my take. I don't know. Maybe Jean has
Jean,
another side to that.
any thoughts on that?
First of all, I've never asked a man, do I look fat in
Mm,
this outfit?
mm-hmm,
Um, Only because I don't think it's really the man that I care about.
mm,
I think sociologists have said that women dress up for each other, for other women, right?
mm.
All our nails, our brands. Men don't care
Okay.
about that stuff unless that's what they say. If you're a gay man, you'll know exactly what season that purse came from, maybe the cost. But I think pretty much straight men, I don't know. Like you'll say, yeah, she was carrying a purse, but I don't remember the color or the make.
Mm,
So if I would ever ask a man, do I look good in this outfit, or do I look fat? I think I totally concur with what Almar said. I think I'm actually asking, like, do you love me? Are you attracted to me? Am I acceptable? So the short answer to that is yes, you are beautiful. Don't say you look beautiful. You can just say you are beautiful.
mm.
Now, for other
Should
women,
be
if
writing
I'm asking
notes.
my daughter, does this make me look fat? Does it show off like my best feature, like that type of thing? That one, I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for a straight surface answer, right? I just want to know,
Mm,
does this outfit fit me perfectly, like well? And then therefore, I don't need an affirmation like, oh my God, you're so worthy. You're gorgeous on the inside. No, no, no. I'm looking for surface answer. Like that color doesn't match your skin tone. The stitching on the right side looks a bit tight. I want like physical representation. Yeah.
mm. Wow. Okay.
A
Okay.
stylist. Women love, I mean, if everyone had their own personal stylist, then that's what we're looking for, really.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, um, s- whilst you're on that topic, I may as well ask, like, um, why do women take so long to get ready, even for a casual outing?
Ooh, that's a generalization.
Exactly. These questions are more general than anything.
Mm.
Bec-
Uh,
because not all women do, right? Like I said, a lot of the questions I'm throwing out is general, but it's stuff that guys, you
Mhm.
know, who at some point like, yeah, I wonder why is that? What's that about?
I think if you want to just break it down to math, that'll be
Mhm.
easy. We have more hair than you. We have more pieces of clothing to put
Yep.
on than you. We have, you know, more creams to put on than you. So yeah, it'll take longer. It's pretty simple.
Perfect. I love it.
I love that. I love that. Oh, well, that's a brilliant answer.
I totally agree. Yeah, there's just more parts of us that need to get ready. If
Hmm.
I could take it a little bit deeper, I think again, it's the whole like making ourselves presentable, but it's
Hmm.
like it's a process, right? So if I'm getting ready for a date, let's say, I'm like talking to myself, whether in the mirror
Hmm.
or like internally, like, you've got this, just love yourself, be yourself. Like I'm coaching myself. And as I'm busy getting ready, it's a way of me kind of checking in with myself. So, I don't actually take long to get ready either. And I think that's a confidence thing. I think some days when I'm feeling super organic and natural and confident, I'm just like whoosh, whoosh out the door. But if I'm like feeling a little bit like hesitant or just low in energy, or maybe just not even feeling the vibe of this guy that I want to go out with, it'll take me longer to get ready. And that's not because I want to impress him more, but it's more to like convince myself of like, you got this, go ahead, have a good time, don't worry about the results, blah blah blah.
Well, can I add to that?
Sure.
I'm thinking back of the times that I have taken, like, made it an event to get ready for a man. I mean, everything from even maybe pouring myself something nice to drink and taking the time and the music, and it's an event. But for me, it's because, usually it's for somebody that I was in love with, because I'm so in love with that person, and such a special time that we're, just to see him and to spend time with him, that I would celebrate the evening getting ready, because I am getting ready for him. And I love that. Actually, kind of miss that. But that is the thing. So it is a compliment, and it is a tip of the hat to my date, to the man. Yeah. For me, anyway. And then I feel extra special, which, works for him, I think, in the end.
That is beautiful, Alma. It's interesting. I've never heard of anyone who's done that. I mean, this is my first time hearing it, but it's like you're making it into an occasion, an experience, like
it is,
a whole experience. Okay. Well, after all that work, I hope it ends up being a good day.
Oh, it's that's true. No, usually it is. I know when it's worth the
when it's worth the time.
Yeah, when it's worth the time. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Wow. Okay. No, it's like, when I wrote these questions, right? I thought it was just gonna, it was like fun stuff that I was like, okay, I wonder. But as I'm hearing some of the answers, I'm like, wow, this is really eye-opening. Like, it's really okay. Okay, on to the next one. Why do women sometimes expect men to understand their hints rather than just stating directly?
You mean you're not a mind reader?
Exactly.
What? Come on.
Right?
They do. Again, we're generalizing, but women do sometimes. They just men expect men to understand. Why don't you just guess me?
You know what?
And
sisters get us, and so we think if they get us, we don't have to say anything. Then we generalize that everybody must. It's not necessarily that you're a man, or we just. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know, Jean. I'd like to hear what Jean has to reply to that.
Doesn't it go both ways, though? Like, don't you guys also expect us to anticipate your needs, and kind of like, oh, if you're feeling low and you need like space away, that we can sense that, so we leave you alone? Like, I don't know. I think maybe it's more of a human need. And I don't know if it's something that we, of course, none of us do it consciously. I think it's that, when we feel emotion towards somebody and we feel so connected with them, I think it's it's like, if my heart is bonded to your heart, then why is my mind not bonded to your mind? I think there seems to be like a disconnect, but yeah, maybe that's the way it's meant to be, so that we learn how to communicate, and we learn empathy. But yeah, I don't know. I guess but you're right. I do expect people to.
It's like, don't you know me by now?
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, like, the testament of our relationship. If you know me by now, you know what's going on, then we're good. But if you are constantly like looking at me with a big question mark, and then I'm like, well, this must not be working, because you don't know me. You don't know me.
You know what? one of the challenges I'm having right now is that as a coach, right, as a holistic coach, and also as someone who practices conscious partnership, right, I'm really trying not to ask a second question or put my thoughts and opinion on that. I'm just like, okay, let's just keep it.
No, do it. Well, this is a coaching podcast after all.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So the whole part of expecting, can I just throw my thoughts on this, right? The whole part of like, because for me, it then goes to the whole point of like communication within a relationship, all right? And the space for assumptions and space for just being able to vulnerably or just authentically communicate what you need or what you want to your partner, all right? Such that if I communicate what I want to my partner, like from that questions, right? Why do women sometimes expect men to understand, their hints rather than stating it directly? To me, I'm like, wait. Sometimes frustration comes from an expectation that hasn't been met, right? But if that expectation hasn't been verbalized, right? One as an individual, I haven't taken ownership of authentically saying what I want or what I'm expecting from a person, right? So if I don't express the expectation and I get frustrated that the expectation hasn't been met, why is it my partner's fault? So for me, there's an element of I need to own my shit, which is I need to be able to express rather than assume he knows what I'm saying or he has to figure it out. Something there is not balanced in my understanding of partnership and relationship and doing relationship in a conscious way. As again, disclaimer, as a holistic spiritual coach who practices conscious partnership, that to me is like, I get it that we're generalizing the questions, right? Because this is what general men would be asking, right? But if I'm now to like, okay, if you want to remember that this is a coaching podcast, right? And put some coaching tools or put out coaching views too, that would be an angle I would go with this. Like,
Communication is not taught in school, number one. If it's in college, it's an elective and you have to decide if you want to do it. Number two, we're raised by our tribe, and depending on whether they knew how to communicate also impacts our ability to communicate. So it's really, and to communicate our needs puts me in a very vulnerable situation, which does not feel comfortable. So there's a lot of factors involved. It's not just even knowing how to communicate what you want to communicate, what you're really trying to say, what you really want to say based on how you are feeling, which we're not always sure about. I'm not always sure about. And then there's something, this is all the area, this is on the flip side, something so unromantic about me telling you exactly what you need to do based on my needs. And then I'm like, well, screw it. I'm like, that just killed the whole thing. Part of me feeling like a woman who's loved and cared for is also your interest in me and my needs. And maybe you could be asking me in a nice way for future reference, kind of like this podcast. You're asking for information, but not in the moment. Okay, what I need from you right now is A, B, C, and D. Now that sounds, I heard myself say it. It sounds awful to me. I hate that I have to ask you for it. And you know what? Forget it. Look how easy that went. That just went downhill super fast.
Yes.
All in my head. And, but yeah, that's just a real quick.
No, it's a great answer. It's a brilliant way you broke that down. That was brilliant. Any thoughts, Jean, before I jump on to the next question?
Yeah, I think when there's this expectation of why can't you just read my mind? I love what you said,
Hmm.
Almar. It's really not that I expect you to know exactly what I'm thinking, but I think it's more of a do you take the interest and the time invested to get to know me? And, I'm not saying that you have to talk about it all the time. Like maybe some men and women, of course, we're not all
Hmm.
talkers. But,
Yeah.
if let's say that my man doesn't communicate a lot through his words, but he'll communicate completely through his actions. So, like,
Hmm.
he knows my habits. I come home after work, I'm exhausted. He's not going to come home and say, "Where's dinner?" Like, he's going to say, "Hey, I thought tonight we could order in, and therefore we'll have some extra time to spend together instead of cooking and cleaning." Like, wow, right? That was not me with expectation of why can't he read my mind, but it's again this anticipation of my needs because he
Hmm.
understands the way I operate. He knows like which maybe days of the week I dip a little bit lower and in energy. So it's an observation, and then
Hmm.
therefore what is his response or active action that he's going to take in order to let me know, maybe not in
Hmm.
words, that he's observing, like he notices. So
Excuse me. Okay. I
How
get
do
that.
our answers shape where you came from just now when
Um, for me, it actually gives me more insights. Like really, I thought, oh, we're just having fun with this today, but I feel like I'm also just getting insights into the mind of women, and I'm talking about the mind of my current partner and the minds of previous partners I've had. Like, oh shoot, this is what they meant when they said this, so this is what they were thinking when they say this. In that moment, I wasn't enlightened at all to what they were really asking, right? But coming back to my what I was putting in the mix about uh, conscious partnership and communicating stuff. I love the way you answered it, Alma, by saying that sometimes I don't even know what I want or what I'm trying to express. And from what you said, Jean, too, what I'm taking from this too is the fact that though this question was general, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, if I, from what Jean is saying, I'm like, I gotta have, if we're just in the beginning, I saw it as a time thing. Like if we're in the beginning of a relationship, some of the things that Jean is saying may not apply. But after being with my woman for a while, yeah, I should be anticipating. I should now know her to a certain extent, right? And yeah, it gives me a space to go think about and ponder in regards to, because I'm one who's on top of like communication. You gotta communicate, and gotta be authentic and express yourself. But it's that balance of knowing, okay, certain things I would like my woman to be empowered to be able to communicate the things that she wants to communicate. And for me, I've always believed that communication is one of the key things that make a relationship work, like good communication. And at the same time, in that statement, I'm also getting the element of anticipating your partner's needs, right? And also just being in a space of, okay, she may not be feeling like communicating all this, or she doesn't want to communicate with that. So I don't know. I'm somewhere. I think there's space for me to learn something to do with the balance of give and take, and even my own expectations there too of my partner. You know, that's what I can say now without fully processing it. What I'm getting.
nice.
Yeah. Ah. Okay. Let's take it light again. Generally, I know guys do this too, but why do women take pictures of their food before eating? I call it the new prayer. Back in the days, we used to bless the food before we eat. Now we take the photo before we eat.
I do love art and beauty. So I'm not one to take pictures of my food, but if something looks like magnificent,
Uh,
work of art, then I can see myself wanting to capture that with my phone. But generally, it's not. That's not what I.
Something, Alma, your answers today, they crack me up, but they're spot on. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful way of answering that question. I do love art, so it's artistic right now. That's why I'm taking the photo of the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jean, are you
I echo
a food?
Almar's answer.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Again, a general question. No, go on, Jid.
no, I echo Almar's answer. I also don't take pictures of my food, but I think it really is just an appreciation of beauty. The other thing I think about, just because I'm a mother and have had to cook for many, many years, I just think about all the work that went behind it. So, you build a house, you're super proud because every nail that you put into that structure. You want to have a display of ta-da, right?
Oh,
I did
yes.
this, and I feel like food for me represents that. It's the love and care that you put in behind the scenes that presented this. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I love it. Oh my
Ideally
God.
with people in the background, right? Because just was recalled, I made my first Thanksgiving turkey this last year, first time ever. And of course, I had family around it, but I was like, check this out. I did that. And so, of course, I took a picture.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. I think we're about to wrap up, so I'm probably going to go 3 more questions. Again, another light general one. And I keep saying light. They're not really light. It's just, okay. Why do women love to watch sad movies and cry their eyes out for fun?
Oh my gosh, because we're smart and we know that kind of release is super healthy.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Can you say that again and break it down a little bit?
Let's go ahead and answer.
Our genius is our emotions. You're right, Almar. It's what we're. Yeah, it is. It's our genius. So why would we not practice them and give ourselves opportunities to feel all kinds of emotions, not just sadness, but love, even fear. I mean, I need to be taken to my edges. I can't just produce that on my own. Then I think it's definitely a way to celebrate, bond with other people, women especially, when we're all going to watch just the same sad movie. Yeah, it's a good thing. And just one more note I wanted to say, sticking to the one of your past questions, Avril, when you were talking about women communicating, they say that the opposite of being out of love with somebody, it's not hatred, right? It's indifference. So when your woman stops communicating with you, nagging you, they may say, that's a danger sign. She doesn't care anymore. So she'll let go. She'll just let you be. And, so it's the same thing with me. It's like emotions, right? If I'm not feeling my emotions, I've already lost the source of my genius, my passion, right? So men, be glad for these romantic, sad movies that we could very quickly connect to our emotions and ourselves, so that pours life into how we relate to you and to our children and to everyone around us. It's a power source.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's also
I like
a
it.
shortcut to therapy.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. Another general question. I keep putting disclaimers, general questions. Why do women sometimes ask for advice but get upset when given solutions? I know this could be men too, but
can you ask that question again? It got cut out a bit.
Why do women ask for advice but get upset when given the solutions?
Get upset when given the solutions, or not take your advice?
This question. I forgot what I was trying to say with it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'll scrap that one out. What catches a woman's attention first of a man?
Um, Mine is invisible. I think it's the energy precedes the man.
Ooh, damn, Alva.
Mm,
100%.
What? I love that. I love that.
yeah. Do you mean like you feel the energy when he's like confident
Ah,
and happy versus
Sometimes
like
I know before he even
insecure?
enters the room,
Yeah.
he's entering the room, whoever he is.
Mm,
When
big
you know that
damn.
energy.
feeling to look, when you turn and look, it's
Yeah.
because the energy was there first.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I love that. Hmm.
I have a surface answer for that. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely grooming. You know,
Mm,
it's not even how like what he wears, it's how he wears
mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that for me, it's like it's important that I see evidence that he
Mm-hmm.
takes care of himself. He
Mm,
puts time into taking care of his, like, even if he has a beard, it's like trimmed. You know, he like
mm,
he rolls his he rolls his hair, or like, I don't know. It's just like I
mm,
have to see that um, he doesn't just sort of wake up every morning and doesn't like shower and doesn't take the time to at least fix his hair, like, like shaves into his his like the long hairs in his ears. Like, I just have to know
yeah.
that he cares enough about himself, because if he doesn't, he's not going to
Mm.
notice that stuff about me either.
Oh,
And when I take
dang.
time to do that for myself, I want him to notice.
Personal hygiene, that is
Yes.
definitely on top of the list.
Yeah. Smell is like number one for me. Yeah.
Mm.
So energetically,
Is-
Almar, you may feel his energy, but I smell him first.
Yeah, no, yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
okay. I love both answers. Trust me, I'm learning a lot today. Where would a woman go to find a good man? I'm asking for a friend.
Uh-huh.
Just kidding.
Oh man, you'd be surprised in some of the places you can find a good man by not
Mm,
actually looking, really.
mm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I've never gone looking, so I can't answer that question. Yeah,
I have
Jean?
one for
Jean,
general woman, I think,
Mm-hmm,
myself too.
mm-hmm,
But, there's something really attractive for me to see a man with like his friends, like in a group of guys,
mm-hmm,
because I know he's got like healthy masculine connections, and that he's not just always scouting for like the next piece of ass.
mm-hmm,
So like whether that's in like a sports bar or like on the basketball court, like he's doing something activity wise with his guys.
mm-hmm.
That I can also
Yeah,
assume that maybe he's single, right?
right,
yeah, yeah.
um, and like, yeah, like I'll go to like a cold, cold hot therapy, like spa, right? And I'll see
Mm-hmm,
like a
mm-hmm,
group of guys, like, or maybe even two guys, just going there to like relax, do some hot cold therapy, pools.
hmm
Like, damn,
So
my
there
eyes
you
are
go. You have
definitely on the go.
a guy who shares your interest. So it's you go to a place. It's nice to meet them in a place that you are also interested in, and
mm-hmm.
there's nothing more attractive than smiles and laughter. And if you're seeing that from the man with his friends, then bingo. It's like,
Yep.
Dang, I think we should have an episode of relationship advice. So some of this stuff is really juicy. It's really
I'll add a
juicy.
second. I'll add a second part to that question, because if men or women are listening and they're like, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to try that." Um, I know what's important is for the woman now
Mhm,
to be in some kind of close proximity for the man to have a chance to talk to her. So, for example, if he's in a group of guys, they're all having their fun and whatever, I'm going to position myself in a way that I get a little bit closer, because I think it's pretty intimidating for a man to have to like walk across the room to come talk to me. If I reject him, all of his guy friends are watching, right? He has to do
Yeah.
like the shame walk back. So that's unfair to ask. But if I'm like maybe sitting closer, or I can even approach the whole group. I know who I want to talk to, but I may
Yeah.
approach the whole group like, hey guys, like I don't know what I'd say, but I've done it before, especially at a
Yeah.
club. There's a big group of guys dancing, and I'd be like, let's go, let's all dance together. So I think that's an important thing. So when you see somebody in a group, not that I want to be nosy or try to disrupt their guy time together, but at least place myself in like closeness, like, right? Like physically, I mean,
Yeah.
for him to be able to even look over or say hello or something. Yeah, start the conversation.
That's strategy right there. Mm-hmm.
Got it. It is a strategy because
Mm-hmm.
I saw that you talked of your experience when you approached a group of guys. Because my funny enough, is we're discussing this, I was about to have a follow-up question of like, wait, what if a guy wants to how do guys approach you ladies if you're with your girls and I want you? I want to talk to you, but I guess the tactic you just used, one can use that. Okay.
Yeah, well, that question, Avril, like if
Mm,
there's a guy that approaches me with my girlfriends, it would be more impressive to me if he's
mhm.
kind to everybody. Like, because girlfriends, I'm protective of my girlfriends. So if a guy is just
Yeah.
interested in me and like ignores my gals and just looks at me,
Yes.
it would turn me off right
Yeah.
away. I want him to be like a gentleman to everybody. And then, maybe
Yeah.
he has like a specific eye for me, and like
Uh-huh.
he has to do it so skillfully, because I don't want a guy to just come and say, I'll just take whoever's interested in me. So therefore he's
Yeah.
flirting
Yeah.
with everybody. That doesn't
Yeah.
work. But to be a
Yeah.
gentleman to everybody, that's important. So that my girls are like, oh, oh my God, so that they also have a sort of like a nice connection, with him. But
Yeah.
respectfully, if he is interested in me particularly, then he'll let
Mhm.
he'll let me know. You'll know. But just initially, I wouldn't want him to like beeline for me.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I got you. Alma, you got a smile on your face.
No, it's
Thoughts?
lovely. No, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm enjoying all of this. It is.
All right. I'll go to my last question then. Why do women seem to remember dates and details of past events so well? Y'all ladies do it better than us guys.
As our brains are bigger, quite frankly, but just
I love it.
Honestly, I'm loving your answers today. They're just
Oh gosh.
uh-huh.
that's a big one. Go ahead, Jean.
I mean, no, you hit on something. We definitely are more detail oriented. It's just, when a woman looks at something or observes, all the areas of our brains are highlighted. Whereas I think men's brains, like physiologically, it's like one part is highlighted. So that's one thing. It's observation, right? Our senses are heightened. For me particularly, I may not remember exactly like physical details, like what you're wearing, or like the corner of the restaurant, but I definitely will connect. I'm going back to my emotions. It's like when the food came out and he, pushed the plate towards me to say, go ahead, that made me feel taken care of. So I'm connecting with the feeling of that date. Certain moments where I felt I'm seen, or he extends care. But I associate that with a specific, part of the evening, right? So that's how I would remember it. It's more just like how I felt in those moments.
Yeah. You're again, it is a general question, but I dates, let's say birthdays or anniversaries, maybe they're important to me. So because they're important to me, I'm going to remember them. However, if I could care less about my birthday or anybody, not that I care less about anybody else's, but it's not something that's not part of my value system, I'm not going to really remember. Granted, if I have a reminder in my calendar, I'd be like, oh, it makes me, I will let you know that I remembered, but it's not high on my hierarchy, So this applies to men and women. So it's not just women, but yes, we do. Women are a little more sensitive, and we love to nurture and make you feel good. So we'll remember. And then there's the emotional anchoring that Jean was talking about, all of those anchors that are produced throughout our experiences, they all add up. And just so happens, maybe we remember the date or the general time.
Yeah. Awesome.
And here's a little strategy for men if you want
Okay.
your date to remember you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, it's like, the way that you can remember something more, or remember a person more, let's say. And I read this, is that how that person made you feel. So
Sure.
men, if you want your potential woman to remember you, always do something that allows her to feel that you have like got her back, that you compliment her on something specific, that you allow her to know that you are totally attentive, right? So then she will feel that energy from you, and then she will associate you with like positivity, like liking herself while she's with you, right? Those are important signifiers for a date memory.
That's true.
Okay.
And I have a secret method that I'm not going to share, but you can also trick her into thinking about you. But anyway, that's a whole other subject.
There you have it. And it's another podcast. There you have it. There you have it. Wow. This has been a fun episode. It's a fun episode. I feel like we need to do another one like this, right?
Just to warm up.
Yeah.
We'll switch the tables, though. We'll switch the tables.
Yeah. And because typically every week we're always getting into the nitty-gritties and the flesh of it. And, today I feel like, I was restricted because there's so many things I wanted to like flesh out, But either way, I really enjoyed today's podcast. Thank you, Jean, and thank you, Alma.
Thank you.
And to our listeners out there, followers out there, I know you definitely got something out of today's, So see you next time. You have a great week. Great. And bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Life's a Coach, where our conversations aim to empower and support your personal growth. Until next time, remember that personal development is ongoing, so keep exploring, keep learning, and keep living a life that aligns with your true purpose. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode of Life's a Coach.